So in an age of boundless information and relentless ambition, the pursuit of health has become more than a personal journey. It's performative. It's a performance. Optimization is no longer this quiet act of self-respect. It's a public display of mastery and masturbation. Routines are tracked, posted, and ranked, from cold plunges, supplement stacks, morning sunlight, continuous glucose monitors. The science of health has taken on the aesthetic of hustle culture, which is the opposition of health in most regard. At the forefront of this movement are thinkers like Peter Attia and Andrew Huberman of the Huberman Lab, men of credential, intellect, undeniable charisma. Their works inspired millions to take ownership of their biology, treat health as a system worth learning, refining, and in some cases controlling. And there's something admirable within that. They've democratized access to scientific literacy in ways that academia and schools often fail to do. To be clear, many in the optimization world are sincere in their intent. They want to help people live longer, stronger, and more conscientiously. Myself included, but sincerity doesn't shield us from unintended consequences, especially when the loudest voices set the most impossible standards, because the pendulum, as always, swings. So let's take Attia's Outlive book, a widely praised bestseller. Bold assertions. Yet, as the dust settled, some of the claims have been challenged or even debunked by more robust evidence, which he attests to. Not because he made this book in bad faith, but because novelty often outpaces nuance. That's the nature of progress. We forget that even science textbooks have to be rewritten, like in high school and university, so why would we treat a best-selling book on science novel as gospel? Science isn't static, it's iterative. Living, self-correcting it's not something you just read once and know, it's something you live alongside. A process that demands both humility and curiosity. It's slow on purpose. Science values replication, review, and challenge. An early study might spark interest, but it's not until it's been tested across populations over time and under different conditions and variables. It's just that, it's a spark, not a torch. Good science isn't about having answers, it's about learning to ask better questions. But here's the thing, our desire to know often outruns our ability to understand. It's an ego thing. We chase answers so quickly that we lose the patience required for actual insight. Knowledge is information. Understanding is transformation. And those things are not the same thing. Understanding takes consistent effort, the willingness to be challenged, the humility just to be wrong. And if we're not doing that, we're not learning, we're just confirming our own fear of inadequacies. So as a coach who deeply values evidence and data, I've had to confront myself today. There were times in my career that I've latched onto the latest findings or the cutting-edge interventions, only to later realize that I've skipped over what truly matters. The basics, the boring, the essential, the effective foundations of everything we are as humans. And this isn't a flaw of Peter Attia, it's a feature of the scientific method, and we're all going to be victim to it. What the public often forgets is that science isn't a vault of truth. It's a process of slow, self-correcting, and deeply human. It's error-filled. On average, it takes 17 years for research to move from peer review to standard practice. That lag isn't laziness or conspiracy, it's just how we ensure safety, scalability, and relevance in a chaotic world. And that process matters, because behavioral science tells us people don't change because they know something. Change happens when we feel safe, seen, and supported. Not when we feel shamed for missing a protocol. Motivation isn't logical, it's emotional. And optimization culture often skips over that reality entirely. And when we do everything right, there's another layer we often forget. Genetics. Our biology is not fucking fair. It's not equal. Some of us are dealt a smoother road, others are managing a storm from the start. And that variability, that frustrating, beautiful complexity, it's part of what keeps every species, including ours, alive. We're not carbon copies. We're a shuffled deck of cards, and we don't get to choose the hand, but we do get to choose how we play it. And that's the game. It's not about control, but it is about odds. So we confuse novelty for wisdom. We scroll past the timeless principles that actually work: sleep, strength training, whole foods, stress management, human connection, because they're not wrapped in tech or, trendy branding. Instead, health becomes an identity, a badge, a source of status. And when your identity becomes the person who optimizes, what happens when life demands imperfection? When your body doesn't respond? When you miss a day? Who are you if you're not optimizing? This often feeds into something a lot deeper. The purity mindset. The idea that if your routine, your food, your thoughts aren't perfectly clean or optimized, they're somehow dirty or shameful. That health isn't just a function, it's a moral worth, and we must abide by it. But the body isn't a temple to be purified, it's a home to be lived in, with joy, messiness, and grace. Worse, what happens when this pursuit becomes a luxury only few can afford? Because beneath all of the high performance language lies a hard truth. The wealthy can die with more data. The poor die with no opportunity for diagnostics. The supplement stacks, the wearable tech, the concierge labs offer the illusion of control, but they're not everything anyone can afford. That's the illusion. For many, health isn't about extending lifespan. It's about surviving next week. It's about managing chronic pain while parenting. It's skipping meals to afford medications. It's doing enough, not chasing optimal. And even for those with access, there's a paradox at play. The deeper you go in the rabbit hole of self-quantification, the narrower your margin of benefit becomes. The greater your risk of burnout, disconnection, or obsession. Because at some point, we must ask, what if the obsession of optimization isn't about health at all? It's about control. About coping with the discomfort that no matter how much we track, measure, or control, life's still unpredictable. Death is inevitable. You might get diarrhea one day. The fear is easy to monetize. The insecurity it breeds is easy to brand, and we're left chasing perfection while quietly losing the joy of simply just fucking being here. You could do everything right. Eat clean, train, smart, track, optimize, breathe, and you still feel lonely, anxious, and empty. Because health is not a fucking project. It's not a number on a dashboard or a rating. It's it's relational. It's spiritual. It's just human. It's just being here. And longevity, it's not just cellular, it's communal. The people who live the longest, the blue zones, aren't just optimized. They're fucking connected, needed, surrounded by meaning, purpose, and interdependence. Their health isn't tracked. It's just shared. We care for one another. And let's not forget, in much of the world, health isn't measured by lab markers or monthly panels. It's access to clean water, maternal care, vaccines, which we all fucking have a problem with now, and a safe place to sleep. When we define health too narrowly as performance and data, we risk forgetting that for most people, health is not a lifestyle. It's a lifeline. And beyond the metrics, what about joy? When every moment is optimized, none is sacred. You don't remember the day that you hit your macros perfectly, but you'll probably remember a meal where you laughed so hard you forgot to check your watch, and time passed and was enjoyed. And maybe we're not just chasing control, maybe we're chasing meaning. Maybe what we call optimization is often spiritual hunger in disguise. A way of asking, do I matter? When we're afraid to ask it out loud. Do I give myself enough time? At some point, we stopped feeling and started tracking, I suppose. We outsourced trust to our wearables. We asked devices how we slept instead of asking ourselves how we actually feel. Why did we sleep poorly? And we lost the art of living in a body, not just fucking managing it. So yeah, be curious, learn, explore, optimize if it serves you. But that is the question, does it serve you? Don't lose yourself in the pursuit of control. Don't mistake performance for peace. Don't let optimization distract you from the act of just being alive. Health isn't a prize to be won. It's kind of a rhythm to be lived. And maybe the next evolution of health isn't more tracking, but more self-trust. Not more noise, but more clarity. And not perfection, but presence. So breathe, feel your feet on the ground, let data go quiet for a second. You're not falling behind. You're here. And for now, that's enough.